Hello, math learners, and welcome to our week 2 announcement of our college algebra course. This week, we're going to be talking about proportions. Last week, we talked about ratios, and we saw ratios are a comparison between two quantities. Now, this week, we're going to see that proportions are two equivalent ratios. So let's take the ratio of 1 to 2 or 1 half, and we compare that to the ratio 5 to 10 or 5 tenths. Now, those two are equivalent ratios, and a proportion will just take those and just write them in a mathematical statement that makes it true. For example, 1 half is equal to 5 over 10. That would be a proportion. Now, just like always, we're going to find ways to solve real world problems using proportions. So when we go to our proportions tab, we want to understand what we're doing. So let's just start with an example. Let's take lemonade, a lemonade recipe. So we could have used anything. Could have been your mac and cheese recipe on Thanksgiving or just any recipe that you can think of. But just to keep it simple, let's take a lemonade recipe. This one, I got it from the food.com website. Maybe you have another one that's better, and I would love to hear it. But for this recipe, let's say this is good for, say, 4 people. And imagine you have your friends, some other friends, another group of friends who just decided, hey, we're not doing anything. It's a nice day. Are you home? We were just thinking about stopping by. And of course, you are very happy and you're saying, okay, of course, come on over. Now, instead of 4 people, you have 8 people. Now, most of us already know from experience that we're just going to have to, just if we want to make it twice as much, well, the sugar is going to have to be 2 cups, and the ice cold water is going to have to be 14 cups, and so on. Now, what's important here is whatever we're doing and however we're scaling one ingredient, we have to scale all of the other ingredients the same way. So in this case, I doubled everything. So if I only increase the sugar, that lemonade is going to be nothing but syrupy and I want nothing to do with it. If we also increase the lemon and we leave everything else the same, that's going to be very sour. If we want the recipe to stay the same, then whatever we do to one has to be done to everything. The scaling has to be the same. And of course, we don't want to just only limit it to doubling things. The same could be if instead of having 4 more people coming, if it was just one extra person coming. So now you want a recipe from 4 to a recipe from 5, or if you had 7 people or whatever number. So in general, proportions will just allow us to scale anything up or down and just where we are keeping the quality of the original one and just keeping it the same. So when we go to our proportion page for the week, as always, you are going to look at the Alex assignments. So you're going to see the reading that's going to be due, the homework, the quizzes, and so on. The discussion for this week, remember all of the guidelines. If you don't remember all of the guidelines, just go back to the video from week 1, or you can just look at the week 1 the tab that says guidelines, read here first, and then it'll tell you some of the things you're going to need to keep in mind. I'll just remind you to reply to the post of 3 of your classmates before the end of the week. For this week's supplemental resource, I am adding a math antic video. So these videos are, I have used them in classes. They're simple. And that's why I like them. They're a little bit simple to understand, but they can be a little bit long. So if you find that it's long, but you are able to handle making it faster, I just suggest you listen to it at a 1.5 or 2 times speed, and just so that it's not as long. And of course, we're going to take a look at the portfolio because part 1 is going to be due at the end of this week. So by Saturday at 11:59 Eastern Time, you should have already done and submitted part 1 of your portfolio project, and you should have all of the directions and rubrics and everything available. Let me know if you need any support, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, the preview for next week. Next week, just before we part, next week we will have an assignment. Again, not due now, but just always good to know what's coming next. So next week there's going to be all about the Benjamins assignment. So something that if you have time, you may want to just look at the directions. Otherwise, just know that it's coming next week. All right, have a good one. See you on the next one. Bye.